what's up, everyone? This is David Broso with the We Attitude podcast. The whole point of the podcast is to realize and empower people to understand that really nobody can succeed alone. Right? We all need partners, we need mentors, we need coaches, and teamifying our world is a challenging thing right now in 2026 with everything that's happening, right? Having the willingness and the comfort to lean into people for help and receiving help and all these things is as I look around, like there's a lot of people, no, I got this, I know what to do, I know how to do it, and then you look up and there's oftentimes few people that actually get what they want, right? So my intention with these things is to have people that have succeeded at a high level and just share how they've learned from others and how they've been coached and mentored and influenced, and how their world, although they may be at the top or towards the top of their mountain, there's a ton of people that are supporting them and we're part of their journey. Ironically, today is spring break this week, and the guests that I have lined up are on spring break right where they should be. So as much as I still believe in the we concept, you only get me today. So I'm gonna be a little bit. This is gonna be a short version, I guess, of what we typically do, since I don't have anyone to banter with. But I want to come to you with two things that have happened in our industry over the last, some of this has been happening for a while, but last week was certainly a fascinating week within the real estate industry. So here's what I want to touch on. For people that have been following the real estate industry the last 3.5 years, we've had a lot of noise within the industry, right? A lot of opinions, a lot of people coming in and out, a lot of interference with, the settlement, the courts, lawsuits, various platform, consolidation of companies and services and all this stuff. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff happening over the last 3.5 years. And last week was another one of those. So the reason why I'm saying that is because noise can become very distracting to what the ultimate goal is for somebody, right? So for those of you who don't know, last week, Keller Williams, Berkshire, and RE/MAX kind of entered into an agreement with Zillow for pre-market listings. And then a few hours later, or a couple days later, there's been different partnerships created between with Compass and EXP, and everybody's got an agreement of sort with pre-listing marketing opportunities, and it makes you wonder, what is the opportunity now if everybody has some sort of partnership? So with that said, the point I want to make though is from a real estate perspective and from an agent perspective, I think the most important thing, regardless of how you feel about any of this, the most important thing comes to you is how do you disclose all of this to your consumer, and how do you empower them and help them make the decision that is best to achieve their goals, right? That's really what it comes down to it, right? The rest of it is really just noise, and that's the most important thing. So as a real estate agent, when you sit down and you start, as during Q2, as those partnerships starts unfolding and kind of see the lay of the land and see what it looks like for everybody, the most important thing for you as an agent is how do you disclose this as part of the menu of services you're offering to your consumer? And how do you walk them through what is the best decision for them to make, whether they have some sort of private exposure, whether they go pre-listing marketing, and the reality of it, some MLS don't even allow that. So there's still so many things to learn and understand and develop from all this to fully see the impact of it and to see how it impacts your business. But nonetheless, social media was on fire last week over all of this. And the problem that I have with it is not so much the partnership, but it's the loudness of the noise, right? As an agent, go back to what you do best. Go find a way to get and generate leads for yourself. Find a way to help your team get better, or grow your own business and grow yourself and focus on what matters and most importantly, what you control at the highest level. And the rest of it will fall in place just the same way it did for the last 20 years, right? We went through the mortgage crisis, 15 years ago, back in 2008. And then all of a sudden, there are parts of the country where everybody had to master, the buzz was we need to master short sales. Well, short sales were prevalent in specific areas of the country, but other part, it was irrelevant, right? Or not worth really diving into it and learning all about it, right? So some MLS allow these things, some MLS don't. There'll be a lot of things that they're going to have to be figured out over the next 3 months. So my suggestion and my advice to at least our agent is to, hey, take a deep breath. Let's figure out how these things laid out and go from there. But the most important thing is to focus on the things you can control so you can eliminate the noise. Right? We have to find a way to quiet things down so people can get back to work and get the things they want, right? So that's number one. The second thing I want to touch on that, which is kind of tied to the noise thing, is this. There's really a cost for anything and everything we do, right? Whether it's personally, professionally, or whatnot. And when you think about it, the cost of being really good at something and being great at something, the cost of achieving all your goals, whether it's your fitness goal, whether it's your financial goals, whether it's your business goals, whether it's personal, it doesn't matter. But the cost of doing all this oftentimes is discipline. I mean, it's really that simple, right? I don't know anyone who's born a leader. Nobody is born like Michael Jordan wasn't born as a basketball player, and Tiger Woods wasn't born as a golf player, right? So the cost of achieving the things that you want, right? If you have a kid that's in school and wants to be first in class, if you want whatever it is, there's a level of discipline that is required. Like, so what is your commitment to discipline? And then there's a cost if you say, hey, I'm cool with that. Like, status quo is fine. This worked for a long time. I don't, average is good enough. Like, I don't have to really try any harder. I'm able to cover my bills. I don't really need reserve. I don't really need this. It's fine. Like, whatever. Then at some point, life kicks you in the teeth and you got to figure out, like, wow, well, how am I going to do this? Right. So there's a level of regrets that comes with choosing not to be disciplined, if that makes sense, right? So the one cost could argue that it's discipline, and the other cost would be regret, right? So it doesn't really matter what it is, you get to pick, right? That's the beauty of it. So a lot of people sometimes say, well, David, I want an opportunity, right? Well, what I realized is we all have an opportunity. We want the outcomes. We don't really want to go through it. So my comment to you on all of this, including the Zillow talk and the platform talk, is this. Do we have the level of discipline that is required to quiet the noise so you can get the things that you want at the end of the year? Or are we comfortable staying where we are and just kind of coasting and complaining about the noise and complaining about who's not doing what and complaining about the rates and complaining about government or all these things that we have zero control over, right? So my hope for you today is this. If you haven't heard anything I said, I'm going to say it this way. I think our industry is still a massive value to the consumer. And I think as long as we go out there and do what's right for them by explaining, disclosing, and teaching them the best route for them to achieve their goals, yours will be taken care of. Okay? And then secondly, the more disciplined you choose to be about quieting the noise, the more likely you're able to get the outcome that you're looking for. Because those two things are things you have full control over. Everything else, you've got none, right? That's kind of like when I see people being pissed off in traffic. That's one of the most ironic things because it cracks me up all the time. So Anyway, I hope you find this helpful. I hope I don't have to do this alone again. All right. I hope my people come back from spring break. We've got some great guests coming down the pipeline. Hopefully brought a little humor and some knowledge and at least cause you to pause and think about different things. I hope you have a fantastic day. Enjoy the weather. Happy spring break. Be safe. We'll see you soon.